Your Excellencies, distinguished guests of honor, dear colleagues, I hope you and your families are doing well. Allow me first to thank the organizers for inviting me to this new edition of Best Diplomats, the United Nations Simulation Conference under the theme Youth of Today, Leaders of Tomorrow. This is another exciting opportunity for us as UNWTO to be part of this youth initiative to foster dialogue on creating change and building peace worldwide. This is particularly relevant as one of the core pillars of our organization. Today's event is organized under the theme, The Youth of Today are the Leaders of Tomorrow. This quote from our dear Nelson Mandela is a widely known remark that encourages us to believe in our youth and young people. UNWTO is proud to embrace this belief, and I'm happy to announce that many initiatives and actions are being taken into consideration to engage more youth in the tourism and hospitality sector. As you know, the COVID-19 outbreak has shaken the global economy with an unprecedented corporate and social impact. In this regard, UNWTO and the tourism sector worldwide are committed to supporting all measures taken to curb the outbreak and mitigate the impact on people's lives, and have taken all the necessary actions to address the current crisis by putting people first and promoting a sense of responsibility and collaboration among nations. As the outbreak of the coronavirus disease continues to develop, UNWTO has maintained and developed specific initiatives and activities to respond to the crisis and support members in restarting tourism, especially in the field of youth education, namely UNWTO Tourism Online Academy, dedicated online resources website, and the Online Education Committee. I would like to give you a very short overview on the UNWTO Students' League, which constitutes an innovative environment to empower and motivate tourism students by giving them real-time experience working on creating and presenting innovative, sustainable solutions for the challenges that the sector is facing nowadays. This initiative brings the tourism sector closer to young generations and bridges the gap between the realities of the sector and students. Education, training, enabling young people to enter the labor market in the future as highly qualified, skilled professionals. Another UNWTO initiative to support the youth is the first Global Youth Tourism Summit, which will take place in June in Italy. With this initiative, UNWTO joins the rest of the UN family in an actively recognizing the vital contribution of youth to the continued development of the societies. Let me rephrase our UNWTO Secretary General's quote, who confirmed that children and youth are not only our future leaders, but they're important stakeholders of the present, and we can empower and involve them starting from today. As we move forward towards economic recovery, UNWTO prioritizes innovation and online education as some of the key areas to help millions of people who depend on tourism and to support the creation of added value jobs. For this purpose, and to continue scaling up the strategy, UNWTO joined forces with HOSCO, the professional network specially designed for the hospitality industry, as a key collaborator for the UNWTO Jobs Factory. In the Middle East region, UNWTO has advanced in the development of a framework to create the first International Tourism Academy in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, to scale up education for the sector, and with the opening of the UNWTO Regional Office for the Middle East in Riyadh, our objective is to play an integral role in the national and regional tourism human capital development, enabling and regulatory programs, and in providing ongoing advice on priority strategic issues to the youth. As we join efforts to restart tourism and foster global recovery, now is the time to rebuild up strategic skills to enhance tourism's capacity to generate better opportunities. It is a team-building challenge, and in order to develop more sustainable, inclusive, and innovative tourism sectors, there is a need to engage the youth and, of course, thinking about next generations as we can empower and we can promote tourism as one of the main industries using inclusiveness for economic growth. I would like to emphasize on the potential of the tourism industry with its job creation strengths to foster economic growth, as it contributes to GDP and employs millions of people, especially youth, directly and indirectly in the Middle East region, where the sector has been identified as a priority growth sector by our governments. Getting in or stepping off a plane, exchanging money, taking a taxi, checking in a hotel, eating in a restaurant, visiting a tourism site, buying a souvenir, or returning to a clean hotel room. Every day of our travel, we engage with the tourism and hospitality sector, both directly and indirectly, especially with the youth and young employees and trainees. By the way, many of our senior officials, including tourism ministers and senior stakeholders, have been part of the tourism supply value chain and started from the bottom of the ladder. The tourism and hospitality sector creates jobs, drives exports, and generates incomes around the world. Unfortunately, few of those jobs are filled by youth. Tourism is a significant economic pillar in many Middle East countries. Through its potential to generate productive employment and decent work, especially for women and the youth, tourism is viewed as a key sector for supporting the economic transformation and inclusive development goals of many countries in the region. It is worth mentioning that the UNWTO regional report on women in tourism in the Middle East that was published in 2021 with the support of the Saudi Ministry of Tourism is the first study of its kind in UNWTO that looks into both the key factors and constraints to achieve gender equality and women's empowerment in tourism, and makes recommendations intended to enhance the contribution of tourism to those goals as embodied in SDG 5. In line also with SDG 8, UNWTO's actions and initiatives aim at promoting sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, employment, and decent work for all, by ensuring decent work opportunities in tourism, particularly for youth and women, and policies that favor better diversification through tourism value chains. We can enhance tourism positive socioeconomic impacts. I would like to also conclude by a quote from the UNWTO Secretary General, Mr. Zurab Pololakashvili. As the leaders of tomorrow, it is pivotal that young people become involved in shaping a global vision for the future. I'm sure we will all have a very successful session and more sessions to come, and also great opportunity to debate and learn from the youth and from each other. Thank you, everyone. Shukran jazilan.